Hey rookies, what's up? Welcome to another edition of the Bourbon Rookie. In this edition, the Easter edition, I'm by myself for Easter, and I'm going to be doing a tasting of Widow Jane. And I was able to come across these three fine bottles. This one I did a tasting on a while back, and I've already gotten down to almost the end of the bottle. I mean, it's absolutely delicious. It's the 10-year. It's 90 proof, about $70. It's fairly well available in most stores, at least in the Northeast. Here we got the Decadence. I'm starting to, for a while I wasn't seeing that in stores. Now it's pretty much everywhere for about the same price, $99.99. And then we got the 10-year, the anniversary, which again, I do run across this in most liquor shops around me for the same price, $99.99. Then you got 13-year, and then you got the Vault, which is like $250 for that bottle. That's a little too rich for my blood right now. Right now, I mean, it's just too rich for my blood in general. Maybe I could get do a single shot edition on that one if I find it in the right establishment. So I've been kind of busting a little bit on Widow Jane in some of my videos because I just did Penelope, and I fell in love with the Penelope, and Penelope has the bottom line bourbon is an 80 proof entry level bourbon. It's about $36.99, $40, depending upon where you are. It could be way cheaper. I've seen it as low as $26.99. It's a great bourbon. This is the Widow Jane entry at 90 proof. And I tell you, I think I get a little bit more of a buzz from the Architect than I do from this. So I've been busting on Widow Jane a little bit because as much as I love this, and believe me, it's delicious. At 90 proof, I should feel it after a couple glasses. And I'm not an alcoholic. It's just you want to know you're not drinking a can of soda, right? So I've been kind of busting on them just because I've been wondering and trying to do some research on source products, and there's some speculation. There's not a lot of articles out there, but I have seen that if it's not a straight bourbon or a straight whiskey, that there can be additives as high as 2.5%, and like this guy, the maple syrup one. I didn't even know I had this maple syrup in my cabinet, but I did. If you're finishing this in a maple syrup barrels, then if the barrels are wet, or maybe there's a little bit leftover syrup in the barrel, it's kind of an additive, but they don't have to tell you about it, right? And that it's kind of why the whole, like back in the day when they established the Bottle and Bond Act, they wanted. See, I'm doing my homework. They wanted to do away with additives and people being cheated with additives in their spirits, in their whiskeys, and so that came about with bourbons. There can't be any additives in any of that, but it can only be sourced down, proofed down, with. Like in this case, these are all sourced so they can be proofed down with water, which they tell you all that on the website, if they proof these down. Maybe because this is the anniversary, they decided to come out with 100 proof on this, even though they have a couple of higher proof ones. At any rate, there can be some colorings. There can be at least 2.5% of some flavorings. I read a great article. I have it right here that I referenced. This is from 2015 by Mark Bylock, Whiskey Buzz. You could look it up. He basically breaks down what I'm saying, and he does a better job. And I'm just trying to summarize everything that I've read. So, and again, that even goes for like the sherry cask finish, the port wine finishes. Some. Even with scotches that have been finished they'll have additives even though they're not supposed to, because nobody's really cracking down on that. Nobody's really checking on that. So I just put it out there just because, after sucking this thing down in like 2-3 days, and I'm like, this is delicious, but I don't really feel it. Are they adding stuff to this to make it so delicious? And it could be even with the Sagamore Spirit, the sherry cask. That's sourced as well. The only difference is I felt a little bit more of a kick with that. Penelope, I felt a little bit more of a kick with that. That's all I'm saying. So without any further ado, I'm going to get into that. And this is their bottom. This is the baseline. Now, it's weird because I'm getting a little bit of a wine. For some reason, I'm getting a little bit of a wine scent from this. Don't ask me why. I haven't had a glass of wine in at least a month, so it's not like I'm craving wine. I'm getting like a weird red wine scent on this. Same here, only it's much sweeter with a little bit of a maple. I'm getting a little bit of the maple, but I'm also getting wine. Now this guy, same thing here. Now I don't know what's going on in my palate. I don't think I'm having an allergy attack. I'm getting wine on these guys. It's almost like a port. I'm not getting any ethanol. And, you would think this is supposed to be aged in American oak barrels, 100 proof, that I would get a little bit more oak. Even an alcohol presence, ethanol, anything. I'm not getting that off any of these. Going back to this, a little medicinal, but still. No. Let's get into the palate. Cheers, guys. She's a great mouth coating. Great oil in that glass, if you could see it from where I'm at. It's good. The oils in here make it creamy, buttery, so to speak. I'm getting a nice sweet corn presence to this. I like the alcohol. Definitely, it definitely coats the mouth, goes up into the sinuses. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in my palate today, but it's just basically like a nice sweet corn with a slight hint of caramel. The nose, maybe it's the nose throwing me off, maybe, I don't know. But it's delicious. It coats the mouth. It's got a nice finish to it. This is the kind of glass that I just want to keep going back for more. That's what I'm saying. Like, I could literally suck down half that bottle and I may not feel it, I don't mind a 90 proofer. I mean, I usually drink around 90 to 110 proof on average. I mean, I've been doing a lot of Old Forester 1920 lately. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe that has something to do with it. Excuse me. I'm very excited to get into the Decadence. Let's see what this is all about. Cheers. Wow. A lot more flavor forward. Definitely more of an oak presence here. So I have a nice sweet corn, the maple influence. It's very syrupy, oily, coats the mouth great, buttery. Really nice oak presence on this one. And these are the same proof. But this is so much more flavor forward. I mean, it's not aged anymore than this one is it? Oh, sorry guys, I should have done my research on that. I thought it was aged 10 years. I think it is. I think it's aged the same amount of time. It's just finished in barrels. I don't know if they finish it from. I don't know if it's to 10-year. That's finished additionally for another couple of years. I guess I should have done my homework. I have the info. Hold on. This is not very professional of me, guys. This is a very rookie move, if you know what I'm saying. Nope, doesn't tell you. It just tells you it took some of our legendary 10-year-old bourbons and finished them in barrels. So the 10-year-old bourbons that have been aged for 10 years are then finished. They don't tell you how long they're finishing them. And they're finishing them in these little guy, the maple syrup barrels, the Crown Oak. So that's it. Now, what I should be getting is sugared pecans, maple, birch beer, and charred oak. Let's see. I don't like reading this stuff before I taste something because then I'm gonna think I tasted that. Now that I've read it, I go, okay, I got the oak. I don't know about the charred oak, but I got the oak. It's a nice oak presence. I definitely got the maple. Sugared pecans, birch beer. I don't know what birch beer tastes like. Is that a root beer? Maybe. And if it's a root beer, I kind of get a little bit more of that birch in there because it reminded me of like a sweet corn, a little bit of a cola profile to it too, which with cola obviously is caramel. So take what you want from that, but not too bad. I mean, oh, excuse me. I read that wrong. My old eyes. That was the aroma. What I should be getting on the palate is vanilla, burnt sugar, and cinnamon bark. Cinnamon bark. I mean, I love cinnamon, but I haven't chewed on cinnamon bark, so I didn't get that at all in this, guys. I got the nose on the palate, so. And I had these poured, and probably for about 10 or 15 minutes just to open them up a little bit. And oddly enough, I just had like a third or a fourth sip of this guy, and now I just got like tons of creaminess, butteriness, really nice viscosity in the mouth. The flavor profile totally changed, so it's really good, really, really good. I mean, this is $99.99. This is $69.99. You're getting a little bit more of a forward flavor flavor punch in the mouth and on the palate. It's definitely delicious. I don't know. If I get into this bottle, and maybe I'll revisit it down the road to see if this one has a little bit more of an alcohol effect than this one. If it doesn't, then this might be my only bottle, and I might just stick with something like this because, you know, a $30 difference for just a little bit more of a flavor punch, to me, may not make it worth it. That's all I'm saying. Let's get into the anniversary. So, taking a harder. So if I do this, I'm still getting a lot of the wine, that wine smell. Now, I know you're not supposed to do this, it just looks ridiculous, but sometimes I get more from one side of my nose, my big schnoz, than I do with other sides. So on that one, I got a little bit more of a caramel brown sugar. and maybe that's the problem. I'm not swirling the glass enough for the aromas to come out. Rookie. Yeah, maybe that was it, because I got a little bit more of a stronger caramel, still like a port wine. Brown sugar. I got a little bit more of that one. Now this guy's 100 proof. So, where do I begin? Again, buttery. Now, that's one thing in common that this shares with Penelope. The Penelope, for the 4 bottles that I have that I did reviews on, and I don't have the toasted, and I don't have this is a toasted one, and there's another one I don't have. But they share that, because the Penelope is very, very creamy, very buttery, as much as this is. And I really like that about both. So this one's, believe it or not, this packs a lot of flavor, but it's just so much smoother. You know, and this thing was saying, this is saying it's aged in American oak barrels for 10 years. It's a higher proof. It's a lot smoother. You get a really nice finish on it, a great finish on it, and it lasts. It really does last. This one had the most in the front of the palate, had the most impact flavor-wise in the front of my palate. These two, the flavors tend to hit me more in the middle of the tongue and in the back of my palate. But they're all very similar to each other. Now again, that's $100, and it's a stronger version of this, because they're all aged 10 years, guys. This one had the lightest palate, but again, for $30 extra, and for this being 100 proof, I don't know if it would be something that I would want to spend $100 on. When you've got the Penelope line, the Architect, to me, just blew me away. It's the Old Forester 1920 at 115 proof, just a little bit dialed down. It's very reminiscent to me of that bourbon, and that I believe I was lucky enough to get for $60. I saw it kind of price gouged a little bit at another shop for about $90. But still, I would pay $90 for that over that. So I'm not sorry I bought these guys. I mean, they're delicious. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. The only thing for me, the negative thing for me, is the price points. They need to, because there's a lot of gimmick to this, and based on the article that I read about additives, even if you're getting 2.5% of some type of an additive, even in this guy, until they start making their own, which I think they're in the works of making their own straights, you know, there could be some added flavors. And I'm not saying that they can't be with Penelope as well. I mean, it could be. However, you wouldn't complain about that as much, because the Penelope price point right now is in everybody's wheelhouse. It's so much lower than this. You know, even if there was, I think the Penelope Toasted I've seen at Total Wine for $80. So, and I think that's a higher proof point, if I'm not mistaken. So for me, if I'm going to consider spending $100 on anything, it's going to be Penelope over this. Now, as I've been talking, I've been yapping away. I still have a nice finish from this guy. They're absolutely delicious. And if somebody were to offer me a glass, I would take it all day long. But this could very well be. I mean, I might just stick with this guy here and there, just to have. It can't be an everyday sipper for me at $70, 90 proof. Like I said, I'm gonna go to Penelope all day long. Now I haven't gotten into the barrel bourbons yet. I got those. I got a couple. I was able to get 3 bottles, and I got pretty good deals on that. And I finally got, I've had like the Fusion series with Bardstown, and I finally got my hands on their straight bourbon, and that was a really good price. I can't believe it. So once I get into those, I'm not saying I'm going to change my mind on Penelope, because I still think the Penelope, for the flavors that you get, for the flavors that you're getting, are phenomenal. So if you've had these, and you know what I'm saying, or what we're talking about, leave some comments, let me know. If you haven't, listen, it's up to you. I would start with this guy. If you're going to spend money on any of these, obviously start with this one. And the Widow Jane's, you could pretty much see in not every place that you go in, not every bar, every establishment, but if they have it, give it a shot. Give it a one shot and see if you like it. But for me, these are probably going to be one shots and done. Like I said, these are delicious, but they're all too close in flavor. These two are $99. This one's, about 70, and they're bound to go up a little bit more as inflation keeps going up, right? So, like I said, give Penelope a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed, because I think that's the better bourbon right now. The Sagamore Spirit, I did the sherry, I had the double oak, absolutely fantastic. You can't find, in my area, they're not readily available. You got to go place to place to place to place to find what you want. You got to do the Google search, and you got to be willing to travel around. And if you got to hope that the Google information's right, that the liquor store has it. And if they don't have it, you're gonna feel like a douche. You're gonna have to walk out and go to the next guy. So I don't mean to diss on Sagamore Spirits, because their price point, depending upon where you're at, is pretty good and just as delicious as these. So again, Widow Jane is good. A lot of hype behind it. Overhyped. A little too high in the price point. All right. And I've already named those other two, Sagamore and Penelope. Definitely go for those if you can get them. Forget about Bardstown, because outside of those the straights, if you're looking for the source stuff like the Discovery, it's $150 a bottle. I mean, if you want to spend that, go ahead. But everybody raves about it. But everybody that's raving about it and doing reviews is either getting that stuff for free, or they have a lot of members, and they're getting membership fees, and they're using membership fees to get the booze so they can keep doing their reviews. So until I get there, which will probably never be, and you're in a similar position as me, you're just an everyday guy looking for a good bourbon, then definitely give Penelope, again, beating a dead horse, Penelope and the Sagamore. Give that a shot if you see it, over this. And if you see this at your bar, try it at the bar. If you like it enough and you go, hey, Bourbon Rookie, you're wrong, I love it, then by all means, 100, 180. Again, I'm not trying to hate on Widow Jane. These are delicious, but they're just too high in price. All right. With that, guys, give me a like, give me a subscribe. This video is about 25 minutes. It's really long. I tend to talk and kind of vlog. You know, I wish I could be more like your drinking buddy and just do like a 2-minute video. Probably better, because that's probably why I have no viewers. But at any rate, guys, I hope you had a good Easter. Hope you had a good Passover, Ramadan. Happy Ramadan. Ramadan is still ongoing. But at any rate, it's a highly religious weekend. I hope you all enjoy your families. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.